Morning, everyone. Welcome to today's hearing titled NIL Playbook, Proposal to Protect Student Athletes, Deal-Making Rights. Last year, our subcommittee held an educational hearing on this topic of name, image, likeness in collegiate athletics, where we heard from student athletes, university presidents, athletic directors, and others involved in this rapidly growing field. On the heels of this season's college football national championship game, where the University of Michigan Wolverines defeated the University of Washington Huskies, there has never been a better time to address this topic. And I will tell you, it was a hell of a game. I think the Huskies played a lot better during the semifinal game. But I want to, yeah, you want to do over, yeah. You just might get that next year. And I want to say congratulations again to the Wolverines and the Michigan fans nationwide, including my friends, and I mean, these are my good friends, Debbie Dingle and our vice chairman, Tim Wahlberg, for their victory. Congratulations. I wanted to be clear today, NIL is great for players, and the change was long overdue. At the same time, the sudden transition to NIL has enabled a Wild West environment where pay for play is rampant. I don't think anybody can argue that that's not true. The purchasing of players has set college athletics on an unsustainable path, in my opinion. To ensure a long-term future for college athletics, we must promote safe guardrails and a level playing field. There's no doubt that Congress needs to act. Unfortunately, the NIL landscape is complicated because the NCAA created many of the problems to begin with and has since struggled to get a handle on this evolving landscape. Now, to be fair, the current president who is here today, he's new to this, and he's trying to fix it, and he's been working with us on a regular basis, and I appreciate that so very much. I'm certainly among those who have been concerned with some of the associations, however, the association's recent activities, while supportive of others, and I look forward to hearing from President Baker's testimony. As money has poured in from boosters, collectives, and corporate entities to purchase players for their favorite team, small schools and non-revenue generating sports are often forgotten. Meanwhile, I believe we are losing sight of the educational opportunities and values that defines the student experience in universities across our nation. Some have further advocated for students as employees or for forced revenue sharing schemes, both of which have the potential to end many women's sports programs and significantly reduce our Olympic pipeline. In the 2020 Tokyo Games, almost 82% of American medalists had direct ties to a collegiate program. So while the courts have settled the debate on NIL compensation broadly, it has become necessary for Congress to step in and provide some common sense rules of the road. And I believe that that's what we've done with this discussion draft. Again, this is a discussion draft. Today, we are considering my discussion draft, as I said, a proposal, the Fair College Sports Act. The goal of this bill is to establish a clear set of rules so that young people are protected, opportunities for them promoted, and amateur sports of all kinds are preserved, and does so without expanding government. And this is what this draft does. Again, we want to file the bill as soon as possible. And again, I've been working with Ms. Dingle, and she hasn't committed to co-sponsoring my bill, but we've been working together and following tradition of this great committee Energy and Commerce, working in a bipartisan fashion. The Fair College Sport Act has received an open and robust stakeholder feedback process over the past 8 months. I don't believe this should be a bipartisan issue. It should be a bipartisan issue, excuse me. And I'm excited to formally begin a public discussion on NIL legislation and know that we can come together to build consensus. We can do this. We need to save college sports as we know it. I'm grateful to our former colleague, Senator Ben Ray Lujan, for his efforts to move the ball forward on this issue with me. And Ben Ray has been outstanding. We've been working with him for several weeks on the Senate side. I also particularly want to thank Representative Dingell, who has committed to working with me to find a path forward. I know she has some concerns with the current draft, and I'm sure there are issues that we won't fully agree on. But this is why we have legislative hearings and run a regular order process to discuss these matters and work on them together. And I also look forward to working with my ranking member, Jan Schakowsky, on this particular discussion draft. We're going to try to meet on a regular basis, and I want to see what issues she has with this draft, and if we can find consensus, that would be fantastic. Because the sooner we get this across the finish line, the better for our athletes. It is important to remember, again, energy and commerce is where bipartisan proposals flourish and become law. NIL should be one of those examples. I don't see why not. I also want to call out the 3 student athletes represented on the panel today: Meredith Page, Kiki Thal, and Chase Griffin. You are the reason why we do this. With a thoughtful and balanced framework, I'm confident we can provide stability to collegiate athletics while ensuring to protect athletes, promote fair play, and preserve the sports we know and love. I want to thank you for your bravery. Please don't get nervous. Just tell us how you feel about this particular issue. But really, thank you for coming forward today. It really does take a lot of bravery, and I know you'll do an outstanding job. So I want to thank all of you for being here, and I look forward to a productive discussion on this important issue, and I yield back.